Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that takes a look at players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to the Arsenal. First of all, I've got to start off with saying congratulations to Arsenal. We've won our first trophy of the season. All right, it's only the Asia Cup, but listen, it's good to have a winning mentality in the team. And plus as well, it wasn't just about really winning that trophy yesterday. It was about the performance of the team. I was really encouraged by what I saw there yesterday. First of all, it's a very competitive game. You're playing against another Premier League team in Everton, and you know, they were going for it. They wouldn't want to lose to Arsenal. They want to mark it down, and I must say we completely brushed them aside and played them off the park. I mean, right from the first whistle, it was a bit like watching the FA Cup final. We were just totally dominant, the passing, the movement, and the goals. And it was just fantastic to see a win and for us to lift another trophy. Good. It's all good. Listen, it's all good and it's all positive when you see us doing so well in pre-season, and very encouraged, as I said, by many of the performances there yesterday. I mean, first of all, what I've got to say is Petr Cech in goal. For me, it just gave a solidity to the whole team. He just performed very well. He done the simple things well. His distribution was good. Pulled off a couple of really good saves. He did have a pretty quiet game, to be fair, but he just seemed to just settle straight in. And it was just great to see Petr Cech in an Arsenal shirt and, you know, looking like he's very happy with his surroundings, because, you know, let's face it, he's been at Chelsea for a very long time, so it could be a thing that it might take him a while to get used to Arsenal. But it's certainly, you know, if body language is anything to go by and looking on the face of things, he looks happy with his surroundings at the moment. And then, of course, the performances of the team as a whole, as I said, was very good. You know, it was only really a little mistake by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who played well, apart from that mistake, that sort of let Everton in to even get a goal. You know, probably, you know, one of their few chances in the game. Very brilliantly, by the way, by their player, but Ross Barkley, should I say. Fantastic performance by Arsenal. Santi Cazorla, Mesut Ozil with some brilliant passing in the game, and Theo Walcott. Do we need a striker? That's a debate where it'll be raging after seeing Theo. He looked very sharp, scored a really good goal, putting on the last man. Ozil got himself a goal as well, and Santi Cazorla scored a goal, and Santi, for me, man of the match. And as I said, really encouraged by what I saw. It's very interesting that one of the few players who didn't have a good game in the match was Olivier Giroud. He didn't play very well, to be honest. And you know, when he was being asked after the game, you know, about strikers and strikers coming in, he said, "Listen, it would be nice." These are his quotes, actually. He said, "If there's another striker, it'll be nice for all the team because competition is good for everyone." So he doesn't seem like he's worried about another striker coming. He's always talking as if he knows that maybe a striker may come in to give competition, but certainly he didn't look up to speed yesterday. But he's a friendly, he will get better. But the rest of the team, they just looked on it. They looked fit, they looked ready, and I was very encouraged by what I saw. However, that doesn't mean that we don't need any signings. And let's take a look at some of the signings that have been linked today. Edin Dzeko from Manchester City. I can see you all getting excited right now, jumping up and down and saying, "Yeah, Dzeko!" Maybe a few years ago, we might have done that. But at the moment, I don't think there'd be many Arsenal fans excited. Number one, he's very similar, you could say, in his sort of play to Giroud. He's very, I'd say, a poor season last year, to be honest. It looks like he might be on his way out. City, you know, they bought Bowley in now. Aguero's obviously the main man, and we're being told that Arsenal and Roma are interested in the player. 29 now, by the way, 29 years of age. as I said, not a very good season. We know that he is a decent player. He can score goals. He's got a very decent goal scoring record, but I don't know. I can't see Arsenal moving for Edin Dzeko, especially when you hear Arsene Wenger talking about, you know, wanting exceptional players, etc. I don't think Dzeko is a type of player that he'd be moving for right about now. Another player that we've been linked to, we've been told that an offer for this player has been rebuffed, and that's Kostas Manolas. Spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. The Daily Mirror claiming today that Arsenal put in a bid of €8 million for the Greek centre-back who plays for Roma. So he's still only 24, this guy, remember. He only just signed for Roma. This is why I don't get this, because he only just signed for Roma last year from Olympiacos for €15 million. Now we're offering apparently €8 million. Quite rightly, Roma have told us to get lost. I'm just surprised. I don't know. I'd really, really like to see the evidence on this one, because I'll be surprised. I mean, Callum Chambers playing yesterday looked very, very comfortable. And I don't know. We've been linked now to a couple of centre-backs. Is it a genuine link, or is it the agent? I don't know. It's really, really strange one to work out. And as I said, that the money that Arsenal have bid, you know, is way, way under what Roma paid for him. And he played a lot of games for Roma last year, and he was pretty decent. Although I've got a friend, excuse me, who lives in Greece called George, and he tells me that we should avoid Manolas at all costs. He doesn't rate him at all. But we're being told today that offer rebuffed for Kostas Manolas. Now, the interesting one, I think, of this weekend is the one about Mario Gotze, who we know is a world-class player. He scored the winning goal in the World Cup. You know, you can't get much better than that. Now, he's not happy at Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are on the verge of signing Arturo Vidal from Juventus. Excuse me, a frog in my throat today. There has been a lot of links going on this weekend, linking him with a move to Juventus, sort of in more or less in a kind of sort of swap deal, plus money. And he's actually come out and said, listen, I wouldn't even be averse to going to Juventus. And as a matter of fact, I'm not averse to even going abroad and playing. You know what I mean? It's definitely something here where Gotze could be on his way out. His quotes were, I think that playing abroad might be a good experience for me. That's what Mario Gotze said. And he even went on to say things like, you know, going abroad and experiencing different languages, etc., etc. You know, he's open to all of that. Gotze looks to me, by all what seems to be coming out of Germany, of Bayern, that he looks like he's going to be on his way out. Now, as I said, Juventus, he's saying, you know, he's not averse to going to Juventus. He's not averse to going abroad. Is it a good idea to move for Gotze? You know, he is a world-class player. The only problem being, of course, is that he plays in that midfield, that sort of number 10 role, which we're just getting Ozil into playing now, that we've got so many players in that midfield. I mean, even yesterday you saw that we're having to play Jack Wilshere out on the right, which didn't really work. We know that Wilshere likes to play in the middle. Ramsey wants to play in the middle. You know, you've got Cazorla wants to play in the middle. You know, Ozil, so many players there that want to play in that position of where Mario Gotze would play. Gotze would be very expensive, but Wenger is a massive admirer of Gotze. He really wanted to sign him when he became available previously from Dortmund, but just, you know, got blown out of the water by the price. Plus Gotze sort of wanted to go to Bayern anyway. But he's available. I think, you know, in Bayern Munich will be up for selling Gotze. Now, is it worth moving in for Gotze? Even if you think to yourself, Santi Cazorla's starting to get a little bit older, you're bringing Gotze, you sort of have him around for a year, and then when Cazorla moves on, Gotze could sort of come in and sort of, you know, you can shuffle players a little bit and he's back, sort of assimilated into the team. Is Mario Gotze that sort of special talent that Arsenal are talking about and may go for? You know, it's a really interesting one. I'd say if the midfield wasn't so congested at the moment, I'd think that it'd be a certainty that Arsenal are after him. But I'm really not sure at the moment, because that midfield, I mean, Wenger's struggling at the moment to accommodate all the excellent players that he's got at the moment in that midfield. To add another problem to it for a very expensive price, he may not be willing to do. But what do you guys think? Do you think that Gotze will be a good addition to the squad? Leave it in the comments below and let me know. From what we're reading, he wants out of Bayern Munich. So that means if the right offer comes in, you can get him. And he is a world-class midfielder. Arsenal linked again today to another midfielder, this time a very young one. He's only 19 years of age. He plays for AIK Stockholm. He's a Swedish well, not Swedish. He's a Swedish under-21 international, and we're being told that he's wanted by Nicholas Eliasson. His name is, by the way. We're being told that Arsenal are looking at him and Chelsea are looking at him. Yet again, another midfielder, another player who plays on the right. I mean, it's like every single player nowadays that we're linked to plays out on that right-hand side. I mean, can't there be a load of strikers available instead of loads of midfielders? But yeah, Eliasson, a player that Arsenal probably at the moment showing a lot of interest in. As I said, that midfield is so congested. I just can't see where any more midfielders are going to fit into it. One of the reasons why Arsenal weren't going to go for Vidal, because great player, brilliant player, but where does he play? Who do you have? What about the balance? You saw by looking at the game yesterday how balanced that Arsenal team looked, how much harmony there looks like there is now. You go and bring in somebody else in that midfield, you disturb all that harmony, players start to get upset. You know, I mean, that is all part. And, you know, in talking to the hierarchy at Arsenal over the past month or so, Gazidis, you know, these guys have put us big emphasis on cohesion, a big emphasis on togetherness. And I really don't think I want to disturb that midfield, which is, as I said, at the moment, it's already hard to see how you fit everybody else in. Let's get into your comments from yesterday. I asked a question yesterday about Aubameyang or Benzema. Who would you prefer Arsenal to sign? And there was, you know, well over 1,000 comments on it. You guys are so, you know, really into this striker thing at the moment. I think that is the priority for most Arsenal fans. And let's get into a couple. Frank Source says, I've seen Aubameyang play a few times, and just off the cuff, without watching him closely, I felt that he's a bit like Welbeck, all pace and not quite a clinical finisher. I may be wrong because I've not had a chance to watch him closely, but quite often my hunches are right. He said Benzema will be expensive. To be honest, have a look at his scoring rate over the last 3 years. You will see that it's identical to Giroud's. He said, you know, and he said that's because that's what makes it really funny. He said he's more skillful, pacier, more clinical, but he doesn't do enough. And you know what? My brother was saying that as well, that, you know, he doesn't like Benzema's body language sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of fans don't like Giroud's body language a lot of times. You know, Benzema's very similar in that way that, you know, if you bought Benzema, he's not an Alexis Sanchez that goes charging after the ball when it gets lost and stuff like that. That's not Benzema. He's very similar to Giroud in his body language and his sort of, you know, work rate. You know, he can come across lazy. Even when he's not being lazy, he can come across that way. So I kind of hear what that guy's saying there. Arsenal FC says, nobody here has even watched Lacazette play 5 matches, myself included. Why is he so much better than Walcott? And that is a very, very good point. A point that I've made a few times, that, you know, Theo Walcott is a top player. It's just the injuries, really, that, you know, we never always get the best out of him. But the guy's right. Why is Lacazette better than Theo Walcott? He's had a great season last year. Well, we've seen Theo score loads of goals. It's just been injuries that's held him back. And we saw yesterday that he's, you know, he's a very, very dangerous player. It is all about keeping him fit. Daniel Cook said, you guys should check out the lineup for Real Madrid. when they played here in Melbourne. I take it he's from Australia. When they played here in Melbourne last night, he said Benzema was on the bench and Ronaldo played as a striker. Very interesting, because that's why a lot of people are suggesting that Benzema might move. The fact that, you know, he might lose that striker position to Cristiano Ronaldo. Aleem says Benzema still has it in him, and he's had Champions League experience. He's helped Real Madrid to win the Liga, and he did really well in the World Cup. We should bring him in. He's quality. Good points. DNO says, I want Benzema. He says, all day long, right? So, you know, he says, and he goes on to say that he's much better than Aubameyang or Lacazette. By the way, we'll get to see, hopefully, Lacazette next week in the Emirates Cup, because Lacazette should be playing for Lyon. If he doesn't play, you might have to start thinking to yourself, something might be going on. Dublin Gunner 1 says, hi, Robbie. Benzema all day long again. That's another person saying that. We've seen Ozil and Sanchez, that these players with top club mentality have a bit of extra class. Benzema would be an ideal fit. Dar says Benzema all day as well, he says. And Aparuva says Benzema. Matthew Odom says Aubameyang by a country mile. Just think about it. Aubameyang, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Sanchez, Welbeck, all that speed. The need for speed. Listen, to be honest, going through the comments, totting them all up, I'd say 70% of people would say Benzema. They prefer Benzema to Aubameyang. But it's very interesting what Giroud said, that, you know, he doesn't mind another striker coming in. I just looked at that team yesterday and I think to myself, add a world-class striker to that team on top of what we've already got, and that is going to be really going to be a team to be reckoned with in the coming season, because you can see it there. That is a team. It's a team at the moment. It's a gelled team, and they all know what they're doing, and I was very encouraged by it. But let's get those extra signings in to make it a team that can win the title. Thanks for watching Transfer Daily. We'll be back tomorrow at the earlier time, around about between 8:30. But thanks for watching. And I just wanted to say to everybody who's been watching intently, I remember I met a guy on Friday. Sorry, mate, I didn't get your name. Met him down over there in East London, just round by Shoreditch Way. And we was having a chat, and he says he watches every day. And to everybody who's been watching, I really want to thank you. You know, it makes it worthwhile getting up every morning, doing loads of research to bring you the show. The figures that we've been getting on the show has been absolutely amazing. And I really want to thank you guys for watching the show. Keep watching. I just want to be able to come in soon, sit down here and say, we've signed Benzema or Lacazette, or I want to give you guys some big news instead of rumours, because, you know, we're all itching for a big signing, but I suppose we're going to have to be patient. Thanks for watching.